Hello everyone. Today let us discuss about short bowel syndrome. Okay, when do we call the bowel is short? According to previous editions, whenever there is 100 centimeter or 200 centimeter. Why I have written separately? Because there were two criteria. 100 centimeter of bowel with IC junction, that is ileocholic junction, intact, or 200 centimeters of bowel without IC junction. But latest Balian law, it says it has made it very easy to remember, that is anything less than 150 centimeter is short bowel syndrome. Okay. So whenever the bowel is short, why are we bothered? When the bowel is so short, there is no absorption of food, which leads to mainly malabsorption. Thus, and why ileocholic junction has been mentioned with so much importance, we should see. Coming to ileum, what is the importance? In the small bowel, 70% water and electrolytes are absorbed in ileum. Along with this, bile salt is also absorbed in ileum, thus it causes the enterohepatic circulation of bile salts, and also it absorbs vitamin B12. And ileum, because of ileocholic junction, it slows down the transit, it reduces the transit time, that is the motility, by 3 times compared to jejunum. Okay. And what is the importance of colon? Colon is important because in the entire GI system 90% water and electrolytes are absorbed here. At the same time, it has flora, which is responsible for vitamin K production, and also it causes fermentation of the carbohydrates to short chain fatty acids. What is the importance of the short chain fatty acid? It causes absorption of water and electrolytes. So, what is the cause for small bowel syndrome? Small bowel syndrome, it occurs due to extensive resection. And when will we do extensive resection in the operation? Whenever there is superior mesenteric artery syndrome. Very easy to remember. Superior mesenteric artery supplies jejunum, then ileum, ascending colon, and almost 2/3 of the transverse colon. So major part of the bowel is supplied by superior mesenteric artery. And whenever this syndrome is there, it causes ischemia and gangrene of major part of the small bowel along with the part of the large bowel. Thus, whenever so much of gangrene is there, we'll do extensive resection. Thus, it will lead to small bowel syndrome. So, this is the most common and most important cause. So, what are the complications? To remember it easily, let us go from top to bottom. That is, first at the stomach. As I have already told, ileum, it causes decreased gastric motility, and at the same time it also causes decreased secretion of the gastric juices because of the decreased transit. But when the ileum is not there, it causes hypersecretion, and that will lead to ulcers, that is peptic ulcer disease. And just below that we have gallbladder. What happens in gallbladder in small bowel syndrome? In gallbladder, because the bile salts are not getting recycled properly, this will lead to increased cholesterol pool, and this will lead to gallstones. And what else is happening? From the ileum there is malabsorption, and this is the most important complication. At the same time, there is Also, vitamin B12 malabsorption. And one non-specific complication which you have to remember here is ataxia and slurred speech. How is ataxia and slurred speech occurring in something called as small bowel syndrome? This occurs because whenever the carbohydrates are not absorbed in jejunum and ileum, it goes to colon. Here, fermentation leads to formation of D-lactate. This affects CNS and this will lead to ataxia and slurred speech. So, how do we manage small bowel syndrome? For management purposes, we divide it into two entities, that is net absorbers and net secretors. What is the importance of net absorbers? Why do we call them as net absorbers? Here, more than 100 centimeter of jejunum is there. So since it is more, they absorb. Here, less than 100 centimeter is there. So they don't absorb, they secrete. General management for both the cases is nothing but low carbohydrates, improve nutrition how? Enterally by giving TPN and surgical methods. What is different in management of net secretors is nothing but additional management to reduce secretion. How do we do that? One, restricting the hypotonic fluid and give sodium rich fluid. And what is an example for sodium rich fluid? Nothing but WHO cholera fluid. What else can we do to reduce secretion? In the stomach, to reduce gastric secretion, we can give PPIs. And at the same time, we can give octreotide. What does it do? It causes reduction in the secretion of all the enzymatic juices. At the same time, it causes reduced GI motility. If the motility is reduced, absorption is increased, secretion is decreased. At the same time, we can also give loperamide or codeine phosphate. Even this reduces the motility by 20%. And coming to the surgeries, either we can modify the existing intestine or we can go for small intestine transplantation. Here we have to remember two procedures which are important for exams. One is the step procedure, other one is the Bianchi procedure. What is step procedure? The name itself says serial, transverse, enteroplasty. What is done here is, suppose this is the small bowel, using linear staplers on the anti-mesenteric border, they fire the staplers and this will lead to something like this. Thus what we have done here, we have increased the surface area and also we have increased the length here for the food, thus increasing absorption and improving the symptoms. And what do we do in Bianchi procedure? Here the intestine is longitudinally split, that is, this will lead to two tubes here, and these two intestines are end-to-end anastomosed. thus increasing the length and increasing absorption. That is all about small bowel syndrome. Thank you.